hello, and welcome, and happy Sunday. Welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are not aware of who I am, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, a mom and a wife, and we are still in 2023. So what does that all mean for all of us? It's time to take a look at our contracts, our relationships that we're all in, how we are co-creating with one another, because that's exactly what we are doing. And know that everything that is happening for you, not to you, and there's no such thing as a coincidence. Whoever you have in your life, whoever you come in alignment in your life, whether it's on standing at the grocery store, the bus stop, or wherever, know that that little bit of time that you come together, there's a reason and an energetic exchange that takes place. Now that you know that, pay attention to the people that does come into your life, whether they come in for a seasonal reason or lifetime. So I'm super excited to have you here with me today. And if you had not seen an episode in a few weeks or so, know that you can definitely watch all shows on replay. To start off with, you can watch it right here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV. If you missed the last episode, which took place on, and I have this in my notes, the last episode was July 2nd with our amazing Tammy Mose. Title was Shifting into Summer. And I definitely recommend that you go back and watch, because it was really a great episode. We chatted about how to declutter and get ourselves ready for summer without stressing, so we can actually enjoy summer, at least on the East Coast, that is. Wherever you are in the world, you might be enjoying winter, or however it flows for you. I would love to take a moment to remind you to share, like, and comment on today's show. And I will definitely come back later, if not respond to those comments now. I do want to say hello to those who are watching. So give a hello and a shout out to our Anne, who is dedicated to being with us week after week. So I thank you for being here. I would like to shout out our partners that make this show happen from week after week after week. So we're going to start with Joe Monkman. He's our shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. You have a flyer there with all of our partners. We have CJ Ives Lopez. She's the host and publisher of the Author's Porch podcast and magazine. Katie Foss and Amy Martin, the host of Intuition of the Soul. Deborah Beatty is the badass color mystic. Yes, she is. I've just mentioned about Tammy Moses. She's the founder and chief encouragement officer and the founder of the Hoarding Solution. And there is such a thing, guys. If you do find yourself with a lot of stuff around you, I recommend you reach out to her. Rich Parsons, he's the founder and chief editor of Your Success magazine. Then last but not least, our newest partner that has joined us, and he's our guest today. Sadly to say, I'm probably going to screw up his last name, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but his first name is James. He is a native Hawaiian healer and the owner of the Ancient Wisdom Mentoring. So those are our partners, and I'm super excited to have them all here. And I'm always looking for new partners to join our team. So if you are interested in showcasing what it is you do as a healer, entrepreneur, author, or whatever it is you're doing that's you're living on purpose, I invite you to reach out to me. You can email healingwithin76@gmail.com for more information. So like I said, I'm super excited to be here with you today and want to share some amazing information with you today. For those of you, those astro manias out there, today is the last day for the last 18 months where our nodes, this north and south nodes, are in the midst of transitioning, moving out of Taurus and Scorpio. Now, if you've been wondering why your relationships seem to be a little bit all over the place or overwhelming, challenging, whatever word you want to use for it, it has a lot to do with that Taurus Scorpio energy of the nodes. And today is the very last day that the nodes will be spending in Taurus Scorpio. As of tomorrow, at this pretty much the same timeline from when we experienced the new moon in Cancer, the nodes, north and south, will be moving into Aries Libra. What does that actually mean for you in a nutshell? It means it's going to be a really high, big energy about Who am I? Who am I? How do I want to be seen in the world? I know, based on my own experience, that a lot has changed in my world, and I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that can relate, that things are not looking the same as it looked maybe in the last 18 months or even longer. Now, if you've been following me week after week, you know that my whole background has changed in the last 10 months. I have transformed, I have transitioned, I have moved, and all of this really does have to do with our nodes. So the big question is, who am I? Who am I, and how is who am I going to bring more balance and harmony into my life? And that should be a question you should be asking yourself as well. So that's the energy we have with this amazing new moon in Cancer. Cancer is about home. I speak of home, I speak of three areas: your shelter, your workplace, and of course, your body. Our body is an amazing, amazing machine. It definitely tells us when we are in alignment and we're out of alignment. However, we're so quick to want to put a band aid on whatever's going on in our body that we overlook the lesson our body is trying to teach us. So, for today, what I'm asking you to do is going forward, when something shows up in your body, whether it's pain, illness, or a disease that has flared up, take a moment and start asking your body, what is it it's trying to teach you? And start learning the why it showed up. The why is a really big word for everything. When we learn the why to our journey, we start to release the excess weight that we hold on to. That's a big part of what I do with clients like yourself, specifically women over 40. Learning your why helps you to release your weight. So this new moon that we have coming in Cancer is definitely going to bring you into that energy of connecting with your home, work, and your body. All that being said, I'm going to shuffle the cards and find out what one card we're going to get a message from, what one color will help you work on that chakra, and what the numbers are going to help us with as well. So let's see what we need to know. Take a breath here. Align with your own energy, clear out what you don't need, and let's see what we have in store for today. What a perfect card for today. A rebirth. And that's exactly what every one of us are going to get to experience. A rebirth. Now that the North and South nodes are moving, and once they do move, they're going to be in Aries and Libra for about 19 months. So that's a pretty long time to get to know your who am I and bring more balance and harmony into your life. The chakra to work on is your high heart. This is about bringing compassion into your life. It's about pushing compassion out as well. It's time to start focusing on compassion and joy, because that's what this energy is all about. We're no longer in an energy of hardship and challenges and sadness and anger. We are really moving into an area of joy, pure joy. 2 in 1. That is a reminder of that you are independent, you are a leader, but you are also co-creating with your partnerships. And that's that 3 energy of co-creating, creating, and communicating. What is it you need to say? What is your message that you need to put out there? And how can you energetically get connected with all those people that's going to support you on your journey and help you to expand and be the who I am? Because that's a really important message to go on. So that 3 energy, very much associated with our Mercury, which is in Leo, which is all about communicating and finding your freedom through the changes you're willing to make as you experience your rebirth. So that's the card for today. Work on your high heart. Your message is to be reborn, and that's what this energy is helping you with. I am going to take a quick commercial break, and when I get back, I'm going to have my guests back with me. I see you in a little while. We'll be right back.
What do you think is the biggest hurdle that's holding you back from living the life that you wanted to live, the life of your dreams? Aloha everyone, my name is James Koinui. I'm a native Hawaiian healer. My family goes back in Hawaii over 20 generations, and I work with my ancestors to help you answer that question and any other questions you may have. Reach out to me, james@jameskoinui.com, or you can find me www.jameskoinui.com.
Are you ready for solutions and connections? If so, I can help. Hi, I'm Tammy Moses, and I help the peripheral people resolve hoarding issues in a holistic way. I would love to connect with you and learn more about how I can help in your unique situation. Please send me an email to thehoardingsolution@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with you.
Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, please do me a favor, share, like, and comment. You'll definitely have to come back to the beginning later, though, and watch from the very beginning in regards to what it is I've shared with you. You could do so by watching right here on Facebook, YouTube, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and that's just to name some of them. Anyway, I will give you a little bit of what I did share because I always believe the card is so important for the show and to help you be more aligned. We're experiencing a major rebirth. After all, our north and south nodes are in the process of transiting out of Taurus, Scorpio, and moving into Aries, Libra. This is a big time to start asking yourself, who am I? And how is who am I going to help you have more harmony and balance in your life? The chakra to work on is your high heart. So this is about beaming out compassion and joy and receiving it right back. This is a collaboration, guys. This is no longer about you doing this by yourself. You need to collaborate with a team. So start recognizing the people you're around and how those people are going to help you begin to grow, because this is about your rebirth. All that being said, I would love to introduce my amazing guest that's coming in. He's showing up for the very first time. I have been broadcasting for almost 5 years, and this is the very first time that he is going to be on my show. Most of the time, I have a lot of guests who repeat as repeaters, but this is the very first time, and he'll be here more times than today. The title of today's show, and I'm going to hope I say it right. I recorded it so I could, and it's Ho'oponopono. And I know I said it wrong. I had to record it. I was excited. But anyway, let's introduce James. He's a native Hawaiian healer and the owner of Ancient Wisdom Mentoring. Say that title again for me.
Which one? Ho'oponopono.
There you go. It's so funny. I went on to Google this morning to ask how to pronounce it. And it gave me the recording. I literally have it in my recording. I'm like, I know I'm going to say it right. But of course, when it comes to the moment of saying it, it's just what I do. So, James, I'm so super excited to have you here today for more reasons than the fact that you're here for the first time, but just because of your energy and everything that you and I have experienced together leading up to today's show. So I want to thank you for being here and just being willing to come on and share your magic. So, James, tell us a little bit about what it is you do.
Not a problem. Aloha, everyone, and thank you, Joanne, for having me today. My name is James Kauai-Nui. I'm a native Hawaiian healer. My family goes back in Hawaii over 20 generations. We are the shaman of my culture, and I work with my ancestors and have for the last 25 years. And what we do is help people come into amazing places inside of their lives, stepping past the patterns, stepping past the trauma, and stepping past all those places where we hold ourselves back. So when we do that work, and when I do that work with people, it's about us in collaboration. I like what you said because it was about collaboration, and I heard you talking about that. And so it is collaboration. Healing is about collaboration. You know, it's because having a guide, just like Joanne is a guide, guiding us to those places, and then ultimately it's you that makes that choice. So
that is so true. I love that. I love that. And I don't know if you have yet, James. If you can, are you on your laptop or your phone?
I'm on my computer, actually, my laptop.
On your phone, if you can just share out the show to let all of your tribe know that we are on. I'd appreciate that. And
let me do that. It's good. It may take me a second because I put my phone on airport because I didn't want anybody to bother us. So hold on.
Yes. I usually do ask my guests just to share it out because then who knows who's going to get to see us today while we're live. And of course, who knows who's going to get to see this on a replay. And it's so important because, again, James has so much to talk to us about regarding being an Hawaiian healer, for that matter. Very different for me. I've never heard of that title to start off with. And he's definitely going to be sharing with us what is the whole, I'm going to say it wrong, even though I literally have it. Give me that name again once you get off your sharing it for us. And I just want to again thank all of our viewers who are watching right now. Please go ahead and share out today's show. You never know who's going to get to need to hear this information today. I always believe, again, as I said earlier, when we come together and people do, whether they plan to watch or they accidentally watch, which there's really no such thing, there's always something they're going to learn from watching, and there's always something they need to hear. And it never surprises me that I always say something of what the actual guests will be talking about, that collaboration, because we are already synced with each other based on our energy field. We've been synced with each other since the moment that we've agreed to come to the show together. So our energy's been intertwining, and that's really what energy is all about, is that you intertwine with people where it's that collaboration that takes place and helps you become a better version of who you are based on the energy that you are connecting with others as well, which is why it's very important to pay attention to the different people you do have in your energy field and be aware of what their energy is like. Because as much as we do collaborate, we have an opportunity that if there's an energy that we're connecting with that might not be vibing where we want to be, we have an opportunity and the choice to wean away from that energy as well. So how are we doing on that share?
Perfect. Got it.
All right, excellent. So since I have such a hard time saying that magical word, I want to call it hocus pocus, but it's not that. So what is it? Tell us a little bit about, say the word again, because it's such a fascinating word.
Not a problem. The word is ho'oponopono. And so if I can, just real quick, I'm just going to give everybody a quick lesson in Hawaiian. So the Hawaiian language only has 7 consonants and 5 vowels. So we have 12 letters in the Hawaiian language. And so what's important about the Hawaiian language is the syllables. So if you break a word into syllables, you'll understand how to say it. So ho'o, because it has an H-O and then it has that little mark, almost like an apostrophe with the O, actually means that's 2 syllables. So when you're looking at it, you go ho'o and then pono, just like aloha or kawai nui or maui or kawai. So if you break everything into syllables, then it becomes really easy. So, when somebody looks at you and says, "What's that, fish?" and you say, "Humu humu nuku nuku apuaha."
Yes, love that.
So ho'oponopono, and what people have come to understand ho'oponopono in the last 30 or 40 years has been this idea that ho'oponopono is a process of forgiveness, and that's what most people learn it as. So there's an idea of that out in the world that says, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." I know that everybody's heard that. So people that are listening to this show are going to hear that. This is a mantra that they have for ho'oponopono. But a few years ago, I started really looking into that. And for me, that idea of ho'oponopono always felt a little off. And so I started looking into it. I started listening and remembering the teachings I had with the old Hawaiian masters and the people that I got to sit with when I was coming in to this work that I was doing. And then I started looking around and going, "Oh, wait a minute. I want to really understand what this means." And when you look into the Hawaiian dictionary and you look up the word ho'oponopono, what it actually says has nothing to do with forgiveness at all. And what the meaning of ho'oponopono means to correct. So it's not really about forgiveness, it's about pono, right? Which is one of the root words of ho'oponopono. And pono, the word pono, is amazing because most Hawaiian words have multiple meanings. And if you were to look up pono, you would find pono means righteous. Pono means right action. Pono means how and living your life in integrity. So pono is about that. Righteousness is one of the other words in that they use as a description for pono. So Pono really is a way of life of being in integrity, of looking inside myself, of holding myself in integrity, not looking for everybody else to be in integrity. So the reality is Ho'oponopono in its essence isn't about forgiveness at all. It's about resolving conflict.
Oh,
And so
nice.
how do you resolve conflict, right? In old Hawaii, there was a process for Ho'oponopono. And the process or the practice never came into being unless there was conflict between two people. Sometimes it was between families. Sometimes it would have been between groups of people. And there was no way to resolve that. So you have to remember, in old Hawaii, it was a very, in some ways, closed environment. There was only so many people. The environment could only support so many people. And there was this really an understanding of working together in community. So when we were in conflict with other people in our community, then the community suffered. Everyone suffered because of the conflict that you and I have or may have.
Yes, that
And
makes
so
sense.
when people realized that there was conflict, and they realized that all the things that they had done up to that point could not resolve it, they would say, I want to do Ho'oponopono with you. And so a few things have to happen then. One is, as soon as people say that, guess what comes in? A third party, somebody else that's neutral, that sits between both of the parties so that they can talk and be able to discuss everything that's going on. But about Ho'oponopono, though, there was this very deep spirituality to it, because before we went in and before anything happened, they would come into the space and there would be prayer and there would be cleansing and there would be sitting in meditation to look inside so that people would get really clear about what was going on. And then they would meet with the mediator. And the mediator would outline basically the rules of engagement. And the rules of engagement is everybody gets a chance to talk, but you don't get to talk over somebody else. We give someone full opportunity to talk about what's going on for them. And then we listen to the opposing argument or the other side, but nowhere inside of that. And so now, as I was looking at all of this, I started looking at our modern world, and this is where I want to talk with you about, right? Because do we listen to each other anymore?
Exactly. But before we go further, because this is a very, I'm going to use the word intense and necessary conversation, what I like to do is I'm going to let the viewers sort of take that information just for a moment. I'd like for you to share how they can reach you. So sharing your email address with us would be great.
Sure. People want to reach out to me. They can reach out to me at James Kawainui. And so I'll spell it for you. JKAWAINUI.com.
Perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. So again, the audience can sort of just take in a little bit of what James just shared.
Yeah, that's a lot
for us before we even move into the next part of this. So we're going to take that quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hi, I'm CJ. The Author's Porch is a community where you find good books and good people. We collaborate with services that deliver quality to authors and publish a magazine for authors by authors. Come by, let us feature you or review your book. Coffee is always on, and no matter what time you arrive or where you come from, the porch light is always on.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. Super excited to be here and excited to have my amazing guest, James, here with us. If you are just tuning in right now, please know that you can go back later and watch on the replay. You can watch on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV to catch everything we've shared up until now. But do that later because you definitely do not want to miss this part of the show as James is chatting about this amazing word that I am not looking to say again because it's just a big word for me and I stumble over words. But anyway, James will say that word so you at least know what the hell we're talking about. James, give us the word again.
The word and the practice is called Ho'oponopono.
Yes, exactly. And I've come to learn just in this segment that it really is about the right action or righteousness, but it's also really a way where when you have conflict with somebody, a third party comes in and gives both parties a chance to share their part of the story, because there's always a part to the story. So James, for you, how is this different from what the New Age spiritual community's definition is?
In Ho'oponopono, as most people know it in the New Age community, it's really about reciting that mantra. It's about holding that inside of them and coming into forgiveness with the person that they may be not in resonance with. Let's just put it that way. And when I started looking at that, and every time I stepped into it, it felt like something was missing. Something was missing that didn't allow us. Because think about it, if you have an issue with someone, right, and somebody says, you should just forgive them. Think about all the times in your life where you've had the opportunity, and excuse my language, it's like, no effing way can I get to that point, because I'm holding on to too much emotion. And so what I wanted to help people with is to create a bridge between that place where we're holding on to our emotions and getting to the place where I can finally allow myself to let go of those emotions or resolve them inside of me so that I can come hopefully into a place of forgiveness. So when I talk about Ho'oponopono, I say it's not about forgiveness, but the reality is that it can be when we give ourselves the opportunity to move through that process.
Exactly. And I'm just really writing this down on the actual Facebook page in the group so people can see it, see the word, and understand that. So when we think about how can I or you or we use, you're constantly using this word. Let's give it a try. Say it with me.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. Yes? Close enough?
Getting closer.
in my daily life to support my spiritual practice, because before you even answer that question, I know just based on the work that I do, forgiveness is the highest healing that one can experience. And when we can get to that space to forgive and allow both parties to share whatever it is their opinion of the story is, whatever took place, it does help us to raise our frequency and move into what it is we're supposed to be doing. Because when we do hold on to anything other than joy and love for ourselves and others, that does prevent us to really dive into our spiritual practice of the whole when we think about it. So I think this topic is extremely important and so perfectly aligned with the fact that our north and south nodes are shifting, because in the last 18 months, we've had...
I remember. I wrote that down because you says, getting to know myself better, but what is my why? And how do I show, and what do I want the world to see when I show up in the world, right?
Exactly.
One of the ways that Ho'oponopono can be helpful for people is, this is one of my main philosophies, right? when I start to realize that what's happening outside of me is a result of the choices and the situations that I put myself in, I become more empowered to make choices in my life, right? And so part of the process of Ho'oponopono is really, can I acknowledge, without my emotions, can I just acknowledge the other soul, the other person that's inside of this? Can I, as I acknowledge that person, because what we're doing then, for me, when I look at that, I'm not looking at the person, I'm actually looking at the soul that stands behind the person, right? The soul that knows unconditional love, the soul that doesn't come in to purposely hurt or harm people, right? So if I can acknowledge that person and be able to accept them and look at that and go, okay, in that moment, whatever the issue that we created together, whether it was yesterday, last week, last month, or 20 years ago, right? Because that's what happens. We carry everything so long and so much, and we hold it tight and we don't want to let go of it. Can I look at that and go, wow, you know what? On the day that that happened, I have no idea what that person went through. They might have yelled at their boss. They might have had a flat tire. They might have got a speeding ticket on their way to work, right? And so they could already have been not in a centered or grounded place, right? They would have been in a bad mood. And then we show up in front of that, and guess what happens sometimes when people are full of emotion? They project.
Exactly.
And guess what we do? We openly and gladly receive. Which is, in some ways, the biggest mistake we can do, because can I just look at that person and look at them, and this is really a change in philosophy. Instead of going, oh, they're mad at me, just looking at them and being able to say inside of myself, because I'm more neutral, because I'm not reacting anymore, I can look at that person and say, oh, wow, they're having a really bad day. Thank you for telling me that you're having a bad day. That's acknowledging.
Yes,
that's acknowledging.
Exactly.
Right.
And it also gives both parties, like, okay, so it's you and I, of course not you and I in the conflict, but we in conflict with others, because we are, I'm going to use this expression, we're doing the work. We understand that when we are in a conflict with somebody else, we already know that as long as we do not respond back with our, I'm going to use the word ego, then it's not it allows that other person to say and do whatever they feel, and we then hold space for them without responding back, without a reaction. Because as long as there's no additional reaction, then that other person feels heard, and there's no additional fire to add to that challenge.
I say this all the time. Love neutralizes every negative emotion.
Exactly.
And so we can hold that space. And I know sometimes it's really challenging to do that, to keep our emotions in check as we look at the things that are happening around us. And not only that, but the process of Ho'oponopono, and even in general, is whenever anything's happening, can I go inside? And I think I heard you say this earlier. And so it's like, what part am I creating, or what have I done to help to create this? Because I had a teacher once say, it takes two to make stew. In other words, it's always the ingredients that come into whatever is happening in that moment, right? And then there's a really big piece inside of Ho'oponopono, or the process that I have and I share. And that is, can I stop long enough to hear what that other person is saying? And I think, and our society reflects that right now, we don't stop and listen long enough, because everybody has their POV. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be right.
Exactly.
And as soon as we get to the point of going, I'm right, you're not.
Exactly. Exactly. And what I'm also being guided to share here in this conversation is for all of us to remember, it's not about let's avoid a conflict with somebody. You have a contract.
We didn't come here to live that way.
Exactly. There's a contract there. And you're going to have a conflict with somebody multiple times, not with that one person, but many other people, because you have contracts. These contracts are there to help us learn something about ourselves and also learn something about the other party. So this is not about, well, how can I avoid, or can I just go into this forgiving everybody before the conflict starts. This is not about avoiding a conflict. This is really about being open to learning.
And just avoid or forgive everyone. And that, I know you know this word. It's called spiritual bypass, because we don't want to look at the shadow side of who we are. We only want peace, love, and light. And excuse my language, I'm kind of going to be on the soapbox here, but the peace, love, and light group, they piss me off because they do not want to look at their stuff.
Exactly.
And I love what you said,
I was hearing that this morning with a group where they were speaking of this very same thing about how can I minimize or eliminate the shadow work, and the shadow work is part of the work. You're not allowed to minimize and eliminate.
No, you can't. And we spend considerable amount of energy in our lives denying and pushing that away. And I tell people this, okay, and I know we're talking about Ho'oponopono or not. In any given moment, I have 100% of my energy that's available, right, to manifest, to live my life, to do the things that I want to do. But if I'm spending all that energy looking into my past, if I'm spending that energy being angry at people, if I'm spending that energy not wanting to look at the things that I'm uncomfortable with, then there's less of me that's available to create, to manifest, to live my life. And so it's about breaking down those barriers and those pieces inside so that I can go, wait a minute, I'm expending energy that I don't need to because I'm holding on to my past. I'm holding on to some emotion. I don't want to listen to what other people say. I think I'm right, whatever the story is there.
Exactly. And thinking we're right off the bat is an indication that we have work to do. Because really, you're thinking you're right. Why are you right and they're wrong? And why is there such a thing of right and wrong?
I remember when that happened to me the first time, and I was listening to myself talk to somebody else. And again, excuse my language, and I hope swearing is okay on this show.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. This is what I heard in my head. My team came in and they said, "Who made you effing God? Who gave you the right to judge other people?" And they say, before you even go there and you start judging other people, you better take a hard look at yourself, James, because there's some stuff here that is connected and pertains to you. So pay attention. And I remember when that happened, and it was like that owie, and that kind of like that goes, ooh, because I heard it. And I realized that it was on me to change that, nobody else.
Exactly. And as I always say, when we are in a conflict, and conflicts are going to show up, it's learning the why. Why did it show up? What are you supposed to learn in that moment of conflict? And obviously, you're not going to learn the why it showed up in that very moment. That's the moment where you have to take the time to reflect and review what took place. What am I learning here?
And that was a piece inside of Ho'oponopono, because once people came together and they realized what the conflict was, then they went away, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks, because it was, now I'm going to do the inner work. Yes. And part of Ho'oponopono, and a huge part of Ho'oponopono, is going to be the inner work. How do I show up in situations? What was my responsibility? How could I have looked at this differently, right? Exactly. And then we would come together, and how many times it would take. And the reason that they put a mediator there was, and we don't need mediators in our lives if we can hold that space for ourselves and we can hold each other accountable. Exactly. And the reason that we have to have mediators is because we can't sometimes, and this is humans, we're human, hold ourselves accountable inside of that.
Yes, I love that. So once again, James, let everybody know that website, email address that you do have, because I think they're similar, if I'm not mistaken. Let them know that information, how they can reach you so they can have a conversation with you. There it goes.
Reach me at james@jameskawainui.com, KAWAINUI. Or you can go to my website, which is www.jameskawainui.com. So pretty
Awesome.
simple.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to take that quick commercial break, and when we come back, James is going to share anything else that he needs to share with us, and he's also going to share a tip to help all of us move into this energy so we can resolve these challenges that we are having, but more important, learn what you need to learn about the challenges you are experiencing. And if James is open, I'm going to also give him a card reading. So we'll come back and we'll share more.
Hey, my name is Rich Parsons, founder and chief editor of Your Success Magazine. At Your Success Magazine, we help entrepreneurs and business professionals increase their credibility, establish expert status, and expand their network. Your Success Magazine is a monthly publication shared with our group of subscribers, as well as on LinkedIn and Facebook, with plans to expand to other social media platforms in the coming months. We offer multiple opportunities to get involved as a contributor for Your Success Magazine. So I invite you to learn more about our magazine, and you can do so by emailing info@yoursuccess.biz. Thank you.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, please go ahead and come back later and watch on the replay right here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and so many other platforms. I have here with me my amazing guest, James. He's here for the very first time, considering I have been broadcasting for almost 5 years, and he's coming here with us today, sharing a lot about this amazing magical word, which I've been trying to pronounce during our break and still screwing it up because that's just what I do. He will mention that word about a dozen times while we're here together. But I also want to remind you, just in case you want to mark it on your calendar, James will be back on the show on August 20th to do a healing demonstration. So if you are really curious about his work, put that on your calendar, save the date, come back so you can check out the work that he does do and see how he might be your next Hawaiian healer that you might want to work with as well. So all that being said, James, I'd like for you to share whatever else you need to share with us. You're also going to provide a tip for our audience in reference to how they can apply this magical word into their life. And then I'm going to give you a reading if you are open to it. So whatever else you need to share, probably in the next give and take 2 or 3 minutes, share that out for us and then give us your tip.
Not a problem. So I want to kind of close the circle on Ho'oponopono. So we talked about having conflict. We talked about coming together. We talked about looking inner to do the work and being able to resolve whatever it is. Inside the process of Ho'oponopono in Old Hawaii, it wasn't complete until both sides agreed to the solution, because everything is about finding a solution. And the solution may be having to compromise. The solution may be having to really look inside myself. The solution may be having to really be able to see the other person for where they are and what's going on in their lives. Ho'oponopono comes to a completion when both sides agree that whatever the issue is has been resolved. So much so that the agreement as they walk away is that never to speak of whatever that situation is, because if you're still holding on and you're still wanting to speak about what happened, that means that it's not resolved inside of you. So that process could take a really long time, sometimes months, maybe, who knows. But the point is, when I forgive, when I let go, when I get to that place of realizing that I don't need to carry this with me anymore, when it shows up, it doesn't grab me anymore. When it shows up, the emotion's not there anymore. When it shows up, I can look at that and go, oh yeah, I remember when that happened in my life. I remembered what I learned from it, and I know now that I can do this, right? Because that's what it does. It empowers us to be able to move forward, because Joanne's right. Conflict is going to happen again. And if we don't have a way of moving through it, then it's going to continue to hold us back in our lives. And we really don't want to do that, because you don't have enough time.
Yeah, we're only on this earth for a short period of time, and we have work to do that, again,
Exactly.
That conflict that came in to help us do the work that we came here to do, but we're not supposed to hold on to that conflict for the length of time that most people do hold on to conflicts. So yeah.
Lifetime.
Exactly.
You know, think about the Hatfield and the McCoys. They got to a point inside of the generational pain and trauma that they were carrying that they forgot why they were fighting in the first place. Exactly. They just knew that they were supposed to hate these people.
Exactly, which usually happens for most. Like if you literally do ask most people that have conflict, what was the reason why they had conflict? Most of the time, they can't remember why they had conflict. Most of the time. Yeah. So James, what is that one tip that you can help us all with? Because I know I'm sitting at the edge of my chair wanting to know, okay, what's that one tip? And I'm sure the audience is too, that can really help us utilize this energy right into our practice immediately.
One of the tips that I like to share for people is to be able to look at two different things. Okay, so we're going to get double tips here. The first one is, whenever something happens, can I take a step back, and instead of reacting with emotion, can I at least take a breath, take a step back and go, okay, this is happening. How do I respond? The energy of react and respond are completely different. So if you can even just think about the words, you'll feel the difference inside the two. So respond, don't react. And I like that you said that earlier, Joanne. The next piece inside is to be able to look at that and go, okay, wait a minute. This cannot be all that person. What is my part inside of this? Can I be big enough? Can I be brave enough and strong enough to look and inside, or whatever the situation is, and go, I wonder how I helped create this. May not have the answer in this moment, but at least I'm asking the question, which again interrupts the emotion that wants to keep dragging this out.
Yes, I call that ownership. You're taking ownership in reference to the conflict, which is important.
Exactly.
Yes, you're owning that you had a part in it. And once you own it, you have a part in it, you now take away what they did. You recognize that you come in with this as well.
And that means that I have responsibility or ownership of resolving it as well.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And I'm hoping that our audience receive that aha just like I did, where we now are responsible. We have a part in that conflict. So thank you, James, so much for sharing this amazing wisdom. I'm going to call it even magic, because I feel it was. I mean, that name just alone is like magic.
Well, you know, I and I'm going to say this, and I hope I don't sound like I'm my ego bragging or anything else like that, but I am a shaman, so.
Of course. Well, that would only make sense. Yes. So with that all being said, are you open today to receiving some guidance from me?
always looking to see how I can live my life in a more fuller way.
Excellent. So if you will, for me, say your full name and just say it for me once and then let me know your month and day that you're born. I don't need the year.
Okay. My name is James Keali'i Kawainui, and I was born in January, and my birthday is January 30th.
January 30th. Love it. Love it.
And I don't care about telling you what year that was.
I don't need the year. I don't need the year. This is not about caring or not. Just don't need it. So theoretically, in numerology, you hold what we call an 11 personal energy year number for this year, which is about the master healer of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. Dealing and healing the relationships that you are in, understanding that the relationship that you have with yourself and how you do come and be the Hawaiian healer that you are, and the challenges that you experience from other relationships as well, which is helping to raise your frequency and vibration for you to do the work that you came here to do as the Hawaiian healer. So that definitely makes sense. I'm also going to pull a card and see what message comes from the card. Not aware if you know that I am the creator to this deck. So it's a very powerful deck and so interesting on the card that you received today, which is about health. Health. Now, when I hear the word health for you, this is not about that you have a health issue to take care of. This is really about the work that you do with the relationships with the clients that you have. You are helping them gain better health by them healing the relationships that they are in need to heal. The sacral chakra, especially for the women out there, this is very powerful for them as well, for the work that you do with them, is to help them really understand that it's so important that they do not hold on to the anger and any resentment towards others, because it does affect their health. In their creativity, the number 33 is about, in numerology, is the master sacrificer. This energy carries a vibration of Jesus, Buddha, and the high priestess for that matter. And it's letting you know that you too carry that energy as the shaman that you are, the Hawaiian healer that you are. It is about the whole meaning is the 6 is being the healer, the nurturer, taking care of your body system, taking care of other people's body systems as well. So the work that you came here to do, which I think you already know, this is just to confirm what you already know, is that you are definitely on the right track. And this year, moving into 2024, you're going to be finding that you're working with more women than you have ever worked with before, because there's lots of women out there that are working on healing their relationships from past life and childhood traumas, that they hold on to a lot of resentment and hurt from the masculine energy. So you're going to help them really step into their feminine energy and be the women they came here to be. So you have some big work to do going forward. How does that resonate with you?
It does, because I do work with women already, and I welcome more of that to show up, for not just for me, but for them to be able to help. And that second chakra work for me is very sacred, and it's something that, for the most part, I work with the women that show up for help and guidance. That second chakra work is really the basis of coming into our divine sense of self.
Yes.
So that, what you just pulled just affirms that work for me. So.
Thank you. Thank you for being able to receive that message. Thank you. And once again, as we come to the final hour of our show, James, let us know where we can reach you again with the information. Your website or email would be great.
Listen, you can find me on Facebook. So if you just went to you typed in James Kawainui, you'll find me there. But to reach out to me, the best way to do that would be to email me at james@jameskawainui.com.
Awesome. So James, once again, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. And for anyone who is just hopping in now, you can come back and watch on the replay, watch on Facebook, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and of course Twitter. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to come back with the conclusion of today's show. James, again, thank you so much for being here.
My honor and my pleasure. And they say in Hawaii, ahui ho, which means that we will see each other again.
There you go. I'm not going to even try to repeat that. Hello and welcome. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, and the founder of Holistic Fitness located in Queens. I work with women, men by referral, over 40, release weight, physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, relating to their childhood and past life traumas associated with their Chiron wound. When clients work with me, they fall in love with the body that they are in and gain the confidence to be seen and heard and ready to walk away from their job and fully step into their soul's contract. To learn more about your Chiron wound and your soul's contract, redeem your complimentary 15-minute self-growth discovery session today by emailing healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to helping you blend the physical and mystical world together and working with the mystical medicine tools to help you heal from within. Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. Thank you so much for watching Joanne's Healing Within. As I said, if you are just tuning in, please come back later and watch from the very beginning. You missed an amazing episode. I had an amazing guest, James, here, speaking about some healing work and forgiving. Not going to even try to say the name. It's a biggie. Anyway, do want to remind you that the next episode will take place on August 6th, and there's no flyer for it, but it's a mystery guest. She's been here before, but you can definitely mark your calendar to come join us at 3:30 p.m. August 6th. And James will be back on August 20th to share a healing demo with you. So mark the dates on your calendar for both of those dates. I'd love to share with you some of the promo works that many of our partners are offering with you in mind. We have our Divine Messages courses from Joe Monkman, Divine Manifesting course with Joe Monkman. Then we have, of course, yours truly, Holistic Fitness Women over 40 at a crossroads. So connect with me if you're at a crossroad. The Badass Color Mystic. She's always got some amazing things going on. In fact, she's got the newest thing taking place, which is a magazine. I'll be talking more about that on the next episode, so stay tuned. Then the Author Sports podcast and magazine, their newest issue, just going to give you a little look at it. Their newest issue you can get on Amazon. And you can, of course, read my column. It talks about the Aries and Libra North Node transition. Remember, that takes place as of tomorrow with the new moon in Cancer. Then Your Success magazine. Feel free to connect with Rich in reference to getting your articles in the next issue. Intuition of the Soul. They always have something going on. In fact, every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m., they have an amazing free group you may want to connect with Kitty or Amy about. Then, last but not least, our amazing guest from today, the O'Brien Healing, James. So you definitely want to connect with him. He's offering a free 30-minute session. So there's his website right there. Please connect. Again, this has been an amazing show. I know I've learned a lot today. I'm hoping you did too. Come back and share with us on August 6th when we're back here live again. Remember, there's a new time, and we are here the first and third Sunday of the month at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Till then, enjoy the new moon, enjoy Aries and Libra's transitions in the nodes, and I'm looking forward to finding out who you are as I look forward to finding out who I am and bringing more balance and harmony into your life with the nodes as they transition. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, forgiveness is the highest level of healing. Have a great day, everyone.